Hi, I'm Michael Lazar Scientific, and today I'm going to take you through the SetaCool 4 94155-0U and show you how to run cloud and pour testing on this fine new instrument. It's Friday. I don't want to run cloud and pour. You don't want to run cloud and pour. It's hotter than a $2 pistol outside. We got a long weekend coming up. You know what? Let's do one of my favorite things to do in the lab when I'm trying to avoid work. Let's make some ice cream. Because the SetaCool 4 is fantastic for not cloud and pour, but actually making some ice cream too. Now our SetaCool 4 here we got on the bench today feeds 4, but if you got more people in your lab, not to fret, we have both an 8, 12, 16, and 20 position bath. The SetaCool 4 is nice and quiet, as you can hear. Before we get started though, we want to talk about safety. And like anything else in the lab, we need to have the proper PPE and be safe. I got my lab coat, got my safety specs, and most importantly, we don't want any hair in our ice cream, so we're going to need an appropriate piece of headgear before we start. Now we're going to be making these in your standard cloud and pour jars, which I'm sure you all have. You're going to need your corks for the top, an external temperature probe, your spacer rings, and finally, a bar spoon. While not standard lab equipment, I always carry one with me because you never know what you're going to get into. Now I've already pre-cooled our SetaCool 4 down to -18. I know you're amazed because you can barely hear this thing run. And if you're following along at home, not to worry, the SetaCool 4 cools at about 2 degrees C a minute, so you'll be down to temperature in no time. Now I know some of you are wondering, -18 C, what is that? Well, not to fret, that's -4.4 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you who love freedom. Now that we've got it down to temperature, we're going to fill up our test jar with our mixture. Today we're using the Lazar Scientific bourbon barrel vanilla ice cream, and normally you'd fill it up to the 54 millimeter mark, but I decided to overfill today because it is a Friday and heck, let's have some fun. So now I'm going to put on our spacer ring to keep our test jar from getting any cold spots, just like we would for cloud and pour. And I'm going to throw our cork in top. And then I'm going to drop it into one of our wells here. It is really important that you get your test jars nice and clean before starting this. You can leave a little number 2 diesel in there. It's not advised, but it does add a certain je ne sais quoi, as they would say on the continent, to your ice cream. So at this point, you're going to let your ice cream cool down all the way until you get to about -3 C or 26.6 degrees Fahrenheit. At that point, you're going to want to start stirring with your bar spoon. And this is going to give you a nice light flavor and consistency on your ice cream until about -5 C or 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, if you're short on time, you don't have to stay at -18 C. You can turn this bad boy all the way down to -78 degrees Celsius or -104 Fahrenheit and get your ice cream going in a hurry. Now, I know what you're thinking. That must use a lot of power to get down there. And it must be a really heavy instrument. Not at all. This thing runs on 120 volts AC, draws 1.5 amps for a total consumption of 175 watts, and it weighs a very svelte 19.4 kilos or 48 pounds for those of you here in America. Now that my ice cream is cooled down through a little bit of movie magic, we're going to skip ahead to the ones we made up before, and I'm going to try some of this delightful bourbon barrel vanilla ice cream. Well, that's taken on quite the color, but let's dig in. Yeah, that number 2 diesel does add something to it. If you're interested in getting a quote on a SetaCool 4, 8, 12, or even more, or you're looking to buy, give us a call at 574-271-7020, or shoot us an email at sales@lazarsci.com. Tell them Chef Michael sent you, and we'll give you the recipe for free. Tune in next time, and I'm going to show you how to make my Nan's secret Black Forest chocolate cake and a Penske Martin flashpoint tester. Thanks for watching.